Was this the best episode of Dragon Ball DAIMA yet? Well, that's one of the things that I'm going to discuss in this breakdown of Dragon Ball DAIMA episode 12. My name is Tony. I break down Dragon Ball and anime stuff from the perspective of someone who speaks and understands the Japanese language and, of course, loves anime as well. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Show me some support so I can keep bringing you more content like this. Alright, so let's get into the breakdown of Dragon Ball DAIMA episode 12. So, this was a pretty straightforward episode. There was a lot of fighting, so hopefully there were a lot of people that were very happy because this episode was pretty much fighting from the very beginning to the end. There were two concurrent fights going on. It was Majin Duu versus Tamagami Number 1 and Vegeta versus Tamagami Number 2. So, just a quick recap. Majin Duu was doing quite well against Tamagami Number 1, but then he starts to crave chocolate. He stops fighting, he throws a tantrum, and, well, the fight completely turns around. Tamagami Number 1 throws Majin Duu across the whatever they're fighting. It kind of reminded me of Ultimate Gohan, like, spinning around Super Buu using his antenna. But meanwhile, Majin Kuu notices this and he's like, okay, I'll go get you some chocolate. He goes to the convenience store, comes back, throws him the chocolate. I love this part. And Majin Duu jumps up, opens his mouth like a little doggy and catches the chocolate. And after that, Majin Duu wins. He defeats Tamagami Number 1 decisively. Tamagami Number 1 gives up. But then here is the curveball. Just like we got with Tamagami Number 3, Tamagami Number 1 says, okay, but you gotta solve this extra little task after you defeat me. You know, you can't just be strong and take the Dragon Ball. There has to be something else. This time around, it was this ridiculous thing where he shows a bunch of numbers and you have to add them up in your head. It's completely impossible. But Majin Kuu solves it and kind of whispers it to him, it seems. Like, clearly, we can hear it clearly, but Arinsu was not able to hear it. So either there was some kind of like telepathic thing going on, although I think it was more just like Majin Kuu kind of said it in a very soft, like low voice, and Majin Duu was able to overhear it. Maybe they have a special connection as well, so that probably helped. So that happens. They get the Tamagami Number 1, the Dragon Ball from him, and and then of course Goma's freaking out. He's watching this in his special, I don't know, Daima TV. Meanwhile, Vegeta is taking on Tamagami Number 2. The previous episode made it look like he'd been swallowed by the Kraken, but that wasn't the case. Vegeta says that he's still getting used to his child body. They fight. Super Saiyan 2. It seems like he's going to win, but then Neva steps in and he says, oh, you wanted a good fight? You wanted a challenge? So I'll give it to you. I'll give you the special little extra bonus. He says sabis in Japanese, a little extra on top, right? And so he makes Tamagami Number 2 stronger. And then Vegeta gets thrown into the ocean again, and he arises from the bottom of the ocean. Super Saiyan 3, we're going to talk more about that. Yes, the big reveal. And then he decisively defeats Tamagami Number 2. Yeah, keep getting them confused. And of course, he gets another ridiculous, like a word math problem. Bulma says, oh, this is exactly the kind of thing that he's really bad at. No, Vegeta. But he solves it. The answer was that the character in question was a snake, so he doesn't eat cookies or biscuito. Probably cookies. I think that's what it should be translated to. He doesn't eat cookies or whatever. The snakes don't do that. So Vegeta wins. He gets the magic, the Dragon Ball, whatever, and the Tamagami apologizes to Neva. And there's some jokes that happen, which I'll talk about in just a moment. And the episode closes out with Goma saying, oh, well, in that case, I'm gonna, you've left me no choice. Like, it seems like he's got a special something that he's been keeping just for this kind of occasion. He's got a trump card up his sleeve. So let's break some of this down and some of the interesting things that happen. Majin Kuu versus Majin Duu. I don't mean fighting. I mean, let's compare and contrast here. So Majin Duu is clearly stronger than Majin Kuu. That's clearly established because he easily defeats Tamagami Number 1. And he does it in a rather goofy way, and he's just a really goofy character, right? Majin Kuu loses pretty quickly, and he gives up. So what we can say here is that Majin Duu is strong, immature, hard to control, and dumb, whereas Majin Kuu is very obedient, rather mature, really just nice, and actually it seems like he's quite smart or at least intelligent in some way. He's able to solve that math problem without any difficulty. So I think what we're getting here is further hinting that we're going to get some kind of fusion between them. Or we could go back to that whole theory that I broke down or that I presented in my previous breakdown about Majin Kuu, Kuu meaning eat in Japanese. And so perhaps this is some kind of allusion to the fact that either Majin Kuu will eat Majin Duu, or Majin Duu, I think more likely, Majin Duu will have to or will, for whatever reason, eat Majin Kuu. So I get into more details in my previous breakdown. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that. But I don't know. It seems like that's the only way here. But I'm going to be really sad if Majin Kuu goes away, because I love Majin Kuu. And I love that moment. Like, he's like, okay, I'm going to go get you your chocolate. He throws it. Majin Duu jumps up into the air like a little dog. Oh, that was so good. So good. But of course, an awesome fight altogether. A lot of kind of general allusions to Fat Buu and Kid Buu and all the Buu fight, right, in the Buu saga. So excellent stuff there. I love that fight. And then we go over to Vegeta. So first of all, Super Saiyan 3, awesome. Unfortunately, somebody had spoiled it for me already. I was watching like a Dragon Ball figure review, and the guy said it. So matches Peaches. he mentioned it in his video. You should check him out. He does like Dragon Ball, like Master Lies, Ichiban Kuji stuff. I love that stuff. So he does videos for that. But anyway, he mentioned it and he spoiled it for me. So I knew that was coming. But nevertheless, it was awesome. It was awesome to have Vegeta for the first time in the anime have the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. So it seems like this is all in the same continuity as Super. There's no major issues at the moment that would imply otherwise. So by the time Battle of Gods happens, Vegeta already has Super Saiyan 3, but then we start to get the God transformations and all that. So it seems like there isn't really a need for Super Saiyan 3 anymore. But nevertheless, at this point in time, Super Saiyan 3 is the strongest transformation, and it finally gets a moment of redemption, because Super Saiyan 3, whether it was Gotenks or Goku, wasn't the form that saved the day, like finished the battle, right? It many people consider it an inefficient use of energy and a failure, not a good form. But in this occasion, it was the thing that saved the day. So Super Saiyan 3 kind of got redeemed in this occasion. But aside from that, there's also something interesting about the transformation, the design itself for Vegeta. As you probably noticed, it looks a bit different from Goku and even Gotenks, right? Usually, like, the hair seems to go down for Goku and Gotenks, whereas for Vegeta, it's more like spiky up, like kind of going up. Many people have compared it to even in Japan. In Japan, I've been watching like the breakdown stuff and seeing what the fandom has been saying, and I've seen more than a few people compare it to Gohan Beast. But here's something interesting. Vegeta often gets like a similar transformation to Goku, but slightly tweaked, right? For example, the Super Saiyan Blue, right? Like, he got like a sparkly version of that. There's also, I think in Battle of Gods, right? The Bulma moment, like he gets kind of like a reddish thing. It's not like a full-on transformation, but there's something there. But the other notable thing that happens with Vegeta and his transformations, it's a manga-only thing in Dragon Ball Super. So if you haven't read that and you don't want to spoil, just don't listen for like 5 seconds. I'm going to give you a 3 seconds heads up here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so he gets like his own version of Ultra Instinct, right? Like, I'm not even going to say the name just in case people are still listening, but he gets his own version of that. Okay, done. So there's a history of Vegeta getting his own slightly different, but still like within the same like family of transformation as Goku or like the Saiyans, right? So maybe this is an example of that. Like, the face is very Super Saiyan 3, right? But that hair, the kind of the way the hair goes out, this may be his own kind of unique twist on it. And another interesting thing that happened is when Goku notices, when he sees Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 transformation, he doesn't call it Super Saiyan 3. He doesn't say the Japanese for that. He says Anna waza, which means like that technique. So maybe this is a way of hinting that this might even have a slightly different name, like Super Saiyan 3, I don't know, like Super Vegeta or something. Sorry, I can't come up with a good name. But whatever the case, he wins and he solves that ridiculous math problem. So there's a couple things here. So first of all, Neva making the Tamagami stronger certainly gives fuel to the fire of the theory that Neva has some ulterior motives here. Maybe he doesn't want anybody to get the Dragon Ball. He didn't want anybody, but I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird. But then when the Tamagami loses everything, right? He gives up the Dragon Ball. He apologizes to Neva. Neva says something like, well, that's the way things should be. Basically, it had to be this way. He says something like that. He seems okay with it. So I don't know. Like, it's still kind of up in the air. Could Neva be like the double crosser that I was suspecting last episode? Maybe. Something that I've seen speculated about is that he might pull a Gyarupan. So Gyarupan is a reference to the whole gal panty, right? The oolong wishing for the panties, saving the world at the end of the Pilaf saga. So maybe Goku and the gang get together the 3 Dragon Balls, and then they have to rely on Neva to summon the dragon and get the wish. But then Neva makes a wish at the end that is not the actual wish that Goku and the gang make. So he could steal the wish from them, so to speak, just like Ulan stole the wish from Pilaf. So that would be another great reference back to the original Dragon Ball, back to the first time the dragon appears. So perhaps that might happen. But going off of that, and I'll come back to the end of the episode in just a moment. Going off of that, now it seems that Vegeta and Goku and everybody are going to have to fight Majin Kuu and Majin Duu. So instead of fighting Tamagami Number 1, now they have to fight, the guy that defeated Tamagami Number 1. So you can imagine that there's going to be a double fusion here, right? So Majin Kuu, Majin Duu come together, and Vegeta and Goku come together using the Kutsuki Mushi, the join bug. So seems like the logical outcome, but you never know, because also Goma is plotting something, so maybe he comes in between and he ends up being the one that they fight first. Also, there's the plane at the end of the episode. I think it's like shooting black smoke, right? So that could be something. Maybe, I don't know, they crash land before they get to the first Demon Realm. I don't know. It's getting very, very interesting. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I think they're executing this very well. But going back to the right after the ridiculous math problem and all that, so Vegeta is talking to Goku. Goku says like, "Oh, hey, here's a recovery bug. You'll recover your energy." And Vegeta says, "No, I don't eat insects." And Goku says, "Oh, really? But a long time ago, you used to eat insects, right?" And so this is a reference back to the first introduction of Vegeta in the anime when he's eating like the arm of a dead bug like alien. Back when Vegeta was a very, very different warrior, barbarian kind of character. So very funny reference. And of course, I've seen people in Japan mention, but why does Goku know about that? You could just say that, I don't know, Goku asked him so one day while, I don't know, they were training somewhere, and it's like, oh, so, hey, what was it like before you came to Earth? And maybe Vegeta mentioned it, right? So I think it's easy to explain that. And then after that, now this is a very Japanese, very linguistic-y kind of joke. So this was not, I'm sure this wasn't translated like in detail in the subtitle. So this went over people's English speakers' head. Vegeta says, I don't eat insects anymore because I'm Johin. Johin means like refined or elegant, high class. So he says that about himself. Because he's the prince of the Saiyans and he's the husband of one of the world's richest people, right? Bulma. So, okay, yeah, he's a Johin guy compared to Goku. Goku's the one that makes like fart jokes and penis jokes and stuff. Does he make penis jokes? I don't remember. Well, there's a super joke. There is a super joke with yeah. Anyway, he makes a lot of fart jokes and whatnot. Toilet jokes. Anyway, so Vegeta says, look, I'm refined. Like, I don't eat bugs. But then Goku says, oh, you're not refined. Well, no, he says, refined refined people don't use the first person pronoun ore. So Vegeta uses the first person pronoun ore. And this is, in Japanese, there's multiple first person pronouns. Watashi, boku, atashi, of course, ore, like I just said. And there's many, many others. But each one has its own nuances. Different people use different ones. And ore is one that sounds particularly rough and masculine. So Vegeta being like the, really rough guy, kind of like, aggressive and afraid to show his emotions, it makes total sense that he would use ore. But to his point, Goku, I think he's right. Usually a more refined person that thinks himself kind of aristocratic, they wouldn't use the ore pronoun. All that being said, though, like Goku is not an expert on sociolinguistics here. So it did come off as a little weird that he would point that out about Vegeta, but I thought it was a fun joke anyway, so whatever. I'm totally okay with it, and I enjoyed it. Let's get to the review. I love this episode. I've been complaining I want more Vegeta, I want more Piccolo. And yes, I still want more Piccolo. He's had his character moments, and those were cool in the past 2 episodes, but I want to see some fighting on Piccolo's part, even though Namekians aren't supposed to use their power, but oh well, the boat has sailed on Piccolo on that one. But anyway, we got an incredible fight with Vegeta, and of course the fight with Majin Duu and Tamagami Number 1. I always have to think about that. Was awesome too. We're getting a clear build up towards an epic showdown. The plot is moving along. The humor is there. Oh, I forgot to mention, Hybis makes a reference to Captain Ginyu, it seems. So after Vegeta wins and goes over to Goku and Vegeta to Goku and everybody else with bringing the Dragon Ball, Hybis says, like, you want me to dance the dance of victory? And this has got to be a reference back to Ginyu telling Frieza, you want me to do a dance of joy? And then Frieza's like, no, don't, not now, afterwards. I love that. Little moments like that, just so good. So the humor, the action, the reveal of Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta getting his moment to shine after 11 episodes of build-up. Massive payoff in an episode of action. So I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. The first 9 in all of Daima. I'm very, very happy. Again, I'm really, really loving this. This is some of the best Dragon Ball that we've gotten so far. I'm going to refrain from total judgment until the end of Daima, but right now, this is some of the best things we've gotten since the original manga. This is better than a lot of the stuff in Super. Most of the stuff in Super, I'd say. There's some good stuff in Super, but a lot of it was poorly executed. Let's just say a lot of wasted potential there. But we can talk about that more after Daima is complete. For now, I'm very happy. What do you think? What was your favorite part of this episode? Do you like the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta mini design? What do you think about the fights in Majin Duu? What's your theory? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got more of these breakdowns plus other stuff coming. See ya in the next one.